Perfect. Great day, everyone. Happy Saturday. My name is Natalie Bonner, and I have a nonprofit organization called Talented Tent Social Services, and I am also a children's book author. I'm going to talk to you today about making reading fun for all ages. I'd like to thank Jarima and Burst Into Books for this opportunity. I'll be mentioning them several times within these next few moments as far as being a resource for the community because they definitely are that. So, we have it for all ages. So, I am going to specify the age range within each of these categories. And I have 5 topics that are going to be covered in each and every one of them. The first one being interactive storytelling. Burst Into Books does a great job of that. Also, reading challenges and rewards, because rewards are important for all ages, right? We want to be rewarded for things that we do well, and we also want to be rewarded for things we don't like and we attempt, right? So it covers both aspects. Also, book clubs and reading groups. Very important to fellowship with like minded individuals. Gives you a different appreciation, and you also have the opportunity to learn and network. Incorporating technology. We can't get away from it. Technology is here and we need to use it to our advantage, especially when it comes to reading and literacy, because there are lots of different resources and ways to make reading enjoyable. And then finally, most importantly, connecting reading to the actual interest, right? So if you like something, you're more likely to want to read about it and learn more about it. So the first age group that we're going to cover would be 0 to 5, which is the most critical because that is when we develop the most. Our brain learns so much during that time frame as far as language, phonics, all of that great stuff. So if we can catch our children during that age, they're more than likely to have a wide enjoyment for reading and literacy because it has been instilled in those foundational years. So, some storytime adventures would be an activity that you can do with that age group. You can incorporate puppets, props, animated storytelling. That's always fun for the little ones. They love animals. So, you can use those tools to, for one, introduce story time, but to make it also enjoyable. Some resources, of course, Burst Into Books, right? Tons of resources there as far as books you can choose to read. Also, Rose Cafe. They have a great variety of books that you can choose from for our little ones to make reading enjoyable. So, for reading challenges, sticker charts. Children love stickers. Parents, maybe not so much because they put them on things that they shouldn't. However, the little ones love stickers. So use some sticker charts like great job, you read a book this week, or make a goal of reading a total of a certain amount of books per week or on a monthly basis. And if you achieve that goal, you can always use those stickers, right? And then we also have some resources again for that. So, library programs. There are several libraries that offer toddler story hours and reading incentive programs. Those story times are super cute. I see parents in my community take their little ones there all the time. And I took my little one there when he was tiny, and he definitely enjoyed it. You're able to actually get a little break too because the little ones are congregating amongst themselves, happy to meet new people, right? So, parent child book clubs, right? Organize small book clubs. You can do that yourself if there's nothing like that in your community. Maybe you can do it virtually, but there are several options for you to take advantage of those types of ideas, right? Incorporating technology. Definitely want to find some apps that use the read aloud feature and some ebooks. Some educational apps would be like Reading Rockets and Reading Egg Juniors. Those are some great resources to use. And then connecting the reading to the actual interest, right? So themed story sessions, animals, vehicles, occupations, everyday adventures like going to the store with mom or dad, or sister or brother, going to the playground. Those are always great ideas to use for the little ones aged 0 to 5. Let's move on to ages 6 through 10. Okay, because they've now had the foundation, and so they're learning and building on that foundation at different levels, right, from 6 to 10. So from interactive storytelling, dramatic readings, right? So encourage kids to act out scenes from their favorite books. They love that. They're very energetic during that age, right? They are mastering things that they learn from 0 to 5, so they want to practice them. So, dramatic play is always a great idea to use. Some resources for that: Tales to Go and Epic. Reading challenges would be create like a bingo card with different genres, authors, or themes for ages 6 through 10. Of course, they're going to get some rewards if they win, right? Of course, Burst Into Books is always a great resource for books to choose from for that age group. And it's really important because those books will have characters who look like them. Book clubs and reading group activities. You can form groups where kids can discuss books and engage in related activities, right? So let's say they're doing a STEAM program. We can have a club and they can discuss, write, and read about that program that they just participated in. Some online platforms would be Goodreads, Zoom, of course, for virtual meetings, and some activities that incorporate some technology would be using tools like Storybird or Book Creator for creating digital stories. I am definitely an expert on experiencing the joy created by youth of all of these ages creating their own stories through my program, Dreamscribers. We have over 70 authors, youth authors, who have participated in the program, and they love it, right? All ages. Okay, some other resources as far as connecting reading to interests. Select books based on kids' hobbies, like space, or animals. Animals is an ongoing topic that we all use because we can incorporate our characteristics into animals without it being threatening, right? Animals are always a great tool to use. So, resources for like magazines and comics, because magazines and comics are also pretty popular in that age group. They're being introduced to comics. It's a different type of illustration and a different type of expression that a lot of youth enjoy. Highlights, I remember highlights. That's throwback, quote unquote throwback, right? And then Marvel Comics. I loved Marvel Comics too. My favorite one was X-Men, right? I loved X-Men. So those are some great resources for that age group. We're going to move along to ages 11 to 13. Very transitional group, even though it's smaller than the rest. Huge in transition, right? So their hobbies are changing, their likes are changing or transforming. So we want to make sure that their learning adapts with their internal transformation. So, of course, interactive storytelling, readers' theater. Kids can perform scripts based on their favorite books. Take it even further, the kids can create their own scripts and perform them, right? So they can have a model by using a book that they've read. However, they can take that a step further and use their creativity and create something that they can perform with friends or with family, however that goes. But it's an opportunity for them to engage in that reading and literacy and writing, which is also great at that age because that is an age of a huge love of technology. And we want to make sure that they're balanced. So, some apps like Epic and Tales to Go will be some great resources for that. Going over, man. Some activities for the reading challenges and rewards would be to set up challenges where the youth can earn points for reading and completing activities like Book It, right? We read those books so that we can go to Pizza Hut. We can create different incentives and rewards for youth now, besides the Book It, right? We can set up groups where we can have different gift cards or activities that they can earn if they meet their goals as far as reading and writing is concerned. Because we want to make reading fun as well. We don't want to make it a chore. We want them to want to read. Some resources, of course, Scholastic Reading Club, Book It, mentioned Book It, and of course, Burst Into Books, right? And different organizations in your area. And if you don't have any, create one, right? It doesn't have to be too intimidating, but it can also be fun and an opportunity to create better community, right? So, book clubs and reading groups, middle school book clubs, tons of them. So they can facilitate discussions and activities around popular book titles that they've read, right? Always fun because they're amongst their peers, so they can be themselves and have fun and be silly if need be, right? They won't have the intimidation factor of being facilitated by an adult. So, of course, some online platforms for that would be good reason. Of course, Zoom is always a resource for online meeting. And the ways that you can incorporate technology would be to use book blogs and vlogs. Encourage them to start their own book blog or a video blog, right? So a vlog. And they can talk about their books that they've read and what they've learned from them, how they've enjoyed them. They can also recommend books to individuals who haven't read titles and accept suggestions for books to read, right? So a great opportunity to keep that going as far as the reading. And of course, we want to connect them to their interests, right? So genre exploration is a great tool. So they can provide a variety of genres like fantasy, mystery, sci-fi to match their interests because their interests may be changing and expanding. So we want to make sure that they give them those choices to learn and engage more in the reading experience. So, magazines and comics for that would be Sports Illustrated Kids. That's something cool that they like at that age in DC Comics, right? So we got Marvel Comics, there's DC Comics. Okay, the most fun age for parents 14 to 18, right? They're becoming young adults. There are so many other things they have on their lists. They may be participating in sports or other extracurricular activities. They're learning about college, they're going to high school, so many different changes. How do we continue to keep that reading enjoyable when they have to read, right? For school and for projects and for tests, so much required reading. How do we make it engaging for them so that they want to still read? Of course, literary debates. That's one way for that age group. Why? They love to debate at that age, right? So why not make it fun and purposeful at that age? So host debates on themes and characters from classic and contemporary literature, right? James Baldwin would be great. Zora Neale Hurston would be great. It's also an amazing opportunity to introduce our amazing authors that we have in our culture so they can learn more about them and explore them and discuss them. It's very empowering. So some resources, Tales to Go, Epic, Burst Into Books, Rose Cafe, and any other resource you may know of with tools that can encourage and introduce authors and characters that look like us, right? So for reading challenges and rewards, reading marathons. How about that? We can organize reading marathons with themed book lists and rewards. Of course, experiences again. Trips, to local attractions could be a reward. Gift cards, of course, could be a reward. I would say Roblox. I know that is like a reward because people buy like the clothes and all that type of stuff for Roblox. I'm not too familiar, but I know kids like it. But anything that you can think of that would encourage your youth in that area to want to read and do more and participate in a reading marathon, right? Definitely a reading marathon challenge. Let's make that a TikTok challenge. That'd be amazing. So also for the book clubs and reading groups, we have the high school book clubs, and they would focus on deeper discussions and analysis of books. They're being introduced to the world firsthand and the different woes different parts of the world may be going through and what their community may be experiencing. So they can talk about those experiences and what they know in that area. That's very empowering. They can start to problem solve and be involved in solutions, which is very important, especially because they're being introduced into adulthood. Of course, Goodreads and Zoom, as far as those platforms. And how can we incorporate the technology? Book podcasts. Podcasts are definitely a thing, right? It's a part of our culture now. It's where we learn a lot about different topics, ideas, discussions, opinions, points of views, right? Podcasts. So we can encourage our teens to listen to or create their own book related podcasts. Another experience for them to display their creativity, express their ideas, become empowered, create a community, a little like what Burst Into Books has done, right? Some resources for that would be Reading Rockets and Wattpad. And then finally, connecting the reading to the interests. Provide books that align with their career aspirations and hobbies, right? They love talking about what they like to do. If it's sports and they love basketball, they're good in basketball, or they just love watching it. They love playing basketball games. You can go that route. For the young ladies, we have the fashion in its different areas, right? We have hair, we have nails, we have lashes, we have brows, we have makeup, we have actual fashion as far as what we wear. So many different ways to engage them in their own hobbies and interests. Some great magazines and comics would be Scientific American and some graphic novels. Lots of variety of graphic novels. I know a gentleman whose name is Gator, who has all sorts of amazing graphic novels, and he also helps youth create those too. So that covers our ways of making reading fun for all ages 0 to 18. If you would like to have this in print, please let Miss Jarima know and I can get this to you in print so that you can continue the journey if you have a little one, or if you can get some of these resources because you have a teen who's in that latter age group. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Jarima and Burst Into Books. Make sure you guys go to the Literary Fest that's coming up next weekend with Burst Into Books. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And to check out her new space, right? Thank you again. I hope you all enjoy your Saturday, and I'll talk to you all soon.